Hey y'all, what's up? So I just got done listening to a segment of the Ring of Fire where they talk about the PGA siding or being all right by having a business deal with people in Saudi Arabia, when for some reason they keep blaming all of Saudi Arabia for the attack on the World Trade Centers, killing roughly 3,000 people, give or take. I don't get that. I don't get that because here's the thing. All of Saudi Arabia didn't do it. And if they don't like people being othered and they don't like the racism and stuff like that, then they can't sit there and be like, oh, all of Saudi Arabia. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that stuff was carried out not by the leaders of Saudi Arabia, but the leaders of a Taliban group. That was, that was bin Laden. That was, the guy that was under him. He was like, hey man, I want to do this. Bin Laden's like, you got my blessing. So then the guy carries it out and the other people do it. That's what that was. It's really that simple. That's what it was. And they keep blaming all of Saudi Arabia for this attack. And they're mad. The PGA is all right doing business with a country that's responsible for the death and murder of 3,000 Americans on American soil. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think we should be angrier that our government in the course of a year and a half has allowed the deaths of over 1.2 million lives here in the United States because of the whole COVID thing that they want to profit off of, which they did. I think they should be angry that they allowed the deaths of these 1.2 plus million people. Their death also allowed the massive profits of corporations, while at the same time, those corporations over 2 years was given over $24 trillion. Okay? I don't think that is a problem. I don't think that while you can't help anyone, save anyone, reduce college debt, remove college debt, college loan forgiveness, while you can't have universal health care, while you can't do anything positive in general for the American public, you can still give almost $2 trillion in 2 years to the U.S. military that only mainly pockets that money. You can't give us anything, but you can give trillions of dollars to people that don't need it. It's bad enough they're getting subsidized with taxpayer money. It's bad enough that they're using this taxpayer money to take advantage of and kill taxpayers, but then you say it's not enough. Corporations are suffering. And just think about how many women are going to die and families live poor lives because they overturned Roe versus Wade. Just think about that. The women that get raped, they got to carry this kid, and now the one that they're married to or boyfriend or whatnot with, or whatever relationship it may be, even non-binary, they got to have this kid together? Come on. And since now, and because of that, now it's like, hey, a guy can go and rape some child and she has to have the kid, and people are against that it even happened. Even though it's been reported, people say it don't happen. So you're mad at 3,000 people that died, but you're not worried about the 3,000 people that die annually in any small area of the United States due to deregulations and chemicals that enter the people's bloodstreams, poor doctor services, horrible nurse care, bedside manners, very poor regulations of guns and who can have them, and the people getting their heads blown off when they trust somebody to try to call for help. The cops that are murdering people left and right, they got a high kill count. The people that's calling for a civil war, they want a high kill count, and they are ushering in kill counts. And since they can't get it against the black people anymore, they're trying to get it against the rainbow people. So You're worried about 3,000 people, 22 years ago, opposed to the 1 point some million people and the 3,000 people that's going to die annually from deregulations and other stuff. Look, it sucks what happened. Okay? It sucks what happened on September 11th, 2001. It sucks. But our government let that happen. It ain't that Saudi attacked us. It's that we didn't stop them. And you ain't mad that, let's say Saudi Arabia, all of Saudi Arabia got together and killed 3,000 people. The government's still getting oil from Saudi Arabia. They still got manufacturing plants over in Saudi Arabia. They still got political deals with Saudi Arabia. They're not trying to do anything there. Lots of people got deals with Saudi Arabia. You ain't upset with that. So, Mike Papantonio, Farron Cousins, anyone on I don't care about your political side, the fact that you can be angrier at 9/11 instead of, let's just say, 2020, 2021. Come on. I mean, I would really like to think, straight up, that it's worse to lose 1.2 million plus people instead of 3,000. Those 3,000, you got to multiply that by 6, and that's how many grieving, at the bare minimum, grieving people are there. But they got buried. Bodies found. People had closure. Okay? And then you go off and send all these young people to war where more than 3,000 people died over the course of 20 years. But you don't care about that. You care about that one day, not those 2 decades. And you say, well, we called out the decades. We called out that it was just a lie. You called it out. But you know what? Anybody that's all right with what happened, anyone that doesn't outright condemn it, well, it seems like those people are still in charge. Those people who are all right with everything that happened, they're still in control of the country because these people have voted them in. They've been voted in. That's a lot. That tells you everything. The American public doesn't even care about those 3,000 people. They don't give a damn. They don't even care about the 1.2 million people lost to COVID. They don't care about the people that died of cardiac arrest that could have been saved, but they had to make room for people with COVID. They couldn't allow people in the hospital buildings to be safe because it was too dangerous to let anyone in with any kind of ailment. They ain't talking about that. They're not spreading that. And now with the Republicans doing culture wars just to get votes and try to find a way to stay relevant, think about how many thousands of people are going to die in the course of 2 to 5 years because of that. How many mass shootings are taking place every single other day? People of all ages dying for political clout. That you worried about 3,000 people 20 years ago. There's people dying now that you don't give a damn about. None of you got the ability or reason or right or justification to speak anything about anything. If you think 3,000 people 20 years ago is worse because it's American soil and it was a foreign entity, about 1.2 million people killed by their own people. Saudi Arabia, you know what they could have said? Wow, we just should have waited. Bottom barrel lease. We should have just waited. Y'all will find a way to kill yourselves anyway. You'll find a way to disrespect and hurt each other. So what are we doing? So, yeah. With all that said, If y'all ain't got brain one in you, you ain't listening to this anyway. And that's how I feel. Because I'm going to tell the truth from the heart. That's where I'm going to get it. You know, how much heart do y'all have? Because the way y'all feel about 9/11 and then how Trump and stuff has been handled, that tells you where your heart is. Peace.